What's up, guys? My name is Mar. Welcome back to another video. Me and my best friend literally just left AMC. We went to go see Obsession. What the fuck? What did I just watch, dude? I'm gonna make a statement real quick here. This is just my personal opinion, but I feel like you guys could also feel this way. Would like to know why YouTubers are making better movies than actual longtime directors. We've had Raka Raka came out with Talk to Me a few years ago. Markiplier came out with Iron Lung. I have yet to see it. I hear it's a slow story build, but it was a very good movie. Jacksepticeye's coming out with a horror mystery. Kane Pixel, who boosted the whole Backrooms lore, is coming out with his movie in a couple weeks. And now we have this guy, Curry Barker, which I didn't know who he was. I did like a quick search up. He pretty much creates short horror films, so kind of like Crypt TV. He came out with this movie Obsession, and I'm speechless. I watch a lot of horror movies, and there were very few horror movies that actually stuck out with me to this day that I actually found scary. Hereditary, Midsommar, Smile and Smile Part 2, with Naomi Scott absolutely cooking for 2 hours. That was probably the last good horror movie that I watched up until this point. And for those who are saying, oh, I looked at the trailer, it looked like a dark comedy. No. Oh no. Like, I'll be honest with you, there were quite a few scenes where the theater was laughing. It was in a very nervous, tense. There were some scenes that were like, this is just so ridiculous, and people were laughing. I'm going to make this real short and quick for you guys. I'm going to do a lot of correlating here. This will be a spoiler review. I don't really like spoiler free. I tend to talk more than I should. So pretty much the storyline here is about a guy named Baron who has a crush on this girl named Nikki, and he wants to tell her how he feels, but instead of just telling her, he decides to break a One Wish Willow bar that he gets from an antique shop. The One Wish Willow bar grants him one wish and it'll come true. So he pretty much wishes that this girl Nikki is so in love with him that she loves him more than anything or anyone else. The wish comes true and you are left with an Obsession horror movie. And I gotta say, the acting in this movie, there were some parts in the movie that the acting was kind of strange in terms of obsession and building tension and building like screaming, outrageous, out of control moments. This movie definitely succeeded in. I gotta say, the girl that played as Nikki really did a good job. So, like I said, this video is going to be for those who have already seen the movie. Or for those who aren't interested in seeing it but just want like a quick rundown. So basically, this girl, Nikki, becomes obsessed with Baron, and he's trying to find a way out of it. But it turns out that the only way to cancel the wish that you made is either to take yourself out. If you want to make that decision, take her out, or you can have another person make a wish for you. You can't make a second wish. So that's, like I said, pretty basic storyline, but I want to say the way that it was told and certain scenes in the movie really creeped me out. The one scene that really creeped me out and actually caught me off guard was when Baron woke up and Nikki was in the corner of the room and she just like started like moving and stuff. It really reminded me of that scene from that early 2000s film, Pulse. It's like a Japanese horror film. It's like about like demons that are taking over the computers. There's one scene in that movie where this girl comes out of the shadows and she's just like walking in slow motion. The speed of the actual video is correct, but she's walking in such a slow movement, and then she just kind of like crouches down and wobbles around. that scene in this movie really reminded me of that, but I didn't know it was going to happen. So when she did it, it really caught me off guard. There was another scene where she's like screaming and saying how much she loves him, and then she just like starts walking backwards. Dude, such like good scenes that are so basic and unusual, yet they're effective. Every now and then they would hit you with like weird fake acting, but for the most part the acting in the movie was really good. There were a lot of scenes that were awkward, like scary, somewhat funny, awkward, and then there were a lot of scenes that were just plain out terrifying. But there were a lot of scenes that I kind of found just like so funny. Like Nikki would be like screaming and just like banging doors, and Baron will be like, I need a minute, and she'll be like, okay, and just start walking away. I was like, dude, like I said, there were like a few scenes in the movie where the theater got like that uncomfortable yet funny reaction. I'll say this right now, there weren't a lot of violent scenes in the movie, but where there was gore, there was fucking gore. I want to say the climax of the movie was Baron and Sarah in the car. I figured she was going to show up, but I thought it was going to be like they cut between shots and then she just like there's a shot of her just standing there. No, she came speed walking up to the car and literally bashed through the window and just started smashing Sarah's head against the wheel using a brick. I was like, dude, what the fuck? For everything that was happening to Baron, I want to say he deserved it. Because there were a lot of scenes in the movie where he could have had the chance to stop it, but it was more just an act of selfishness. He wouldn't tell his friends what was going on, even though when it finally happened and he was explaining the situation to Ollie, he did react suspicious and like completely hyped and out of control. But the scene where he was sneaking out of the house to meet up with Sarah and Nikki's true personality shown while this obsession creature, I'm still trying to figure out like what the premise was, but when she was like, please just kill me, just make this end, and Baron was like, well, why would you want to leave me? It's more out of an act of like selfishness. I will say from personal experience, I don't want to create any drama here on the internet. I do know what that's like personally. I did recently deal with a similar situation. It didn't involve any bashing heads through windows, but it was more just like obsession versus I kind of want someone. I can't really fully blame him because I do know how it feels coming from personal experience. I did recently just get over a 6-month relationship. It was more of just a situationship, but the whole thing was messy and it lasted way longer than it should have. I'm not going to get into too much detail. I don't know if I'll ever talk about it here on the channel. Literally, the first, day after he made this wish, she ended up cooking his cat. Like, his cat that literally passed away a day before. She cooked his cat and made it into a sandwich and gave it to him as a lunch when he went to work. I'm like, dude, this is, some crazy shit. And it's crazy to think how she was doing all of this crazy, outrageous stuff, and then the second he was like, this is not okay, she just started apologizing. She was like, I was just trying to be nice, In the end, he did have feelings for her, and he technically did get his wish. He wished for the wrong thing, but he did end up getting his wish, although it was more obsession over actual love. But deep down, she was starting to show him love. She was starting to show him affection and sex. And, he, deep down, I can see it in the way that he was reacting. He he didn't want to leave that. You know, as crazy as things got, he didn't want to leave that because deep down, I could tell, from the beginning, it was clearly stated, you know, he had feelings for her. And that was another thing. You know, I just kind of go on my own rambles here in terms of movie reviews. I don't really go off of a script, in case you guys couldn't tell. I saw it at the beginning of the movie, before he broke the Willow bar. There was a scene, the famous scene that's shown in the trailer, where she's leaving the car. He calls her a name that she doesn't like. And she was like, you know, why would you say that? I don't like that. And then it got to the point where she finally asked Baron, she was like, do you have like a crush on me? Like, do you have feelings for me? And when he said, you know, no, I mainly like you as a friend, her response to that, and I can clearly tell that the response was like, she was kind of disappointed. She was like, okay, me too. And then she just like walks away. But it was like, the way she said it, it kind of showed like deep down she did feel the same way, but she was disappointed by his response. She did in return have feelings for him, and he was literally there. He got through the hardest part. He got through 90% of a male to female interaction. She literally asked him, do you have feelings for me? If you do, just tell me now. I would have been outright with her, because just like that, he didn't have to do anything. He could have just told her. And it's the fact that he just like dissed it down then and there, and then got disappointed and decided to use that Willow bar as another resource. It was kind of disappointing. So I want to say, from the beginning, she did have feelings for him. But with this wish that he made, that version of her was put to rest, and it was just this obsession version. I'm still trying to figure out, I can definitely see a part 2 of this movie coming out, in terms of like how this Willow bar came to be, kind of like a Smile situation, where like how the demon possession came to be. He was calling up the phone number that was on the back of the bar, and the guy kind of like was like, oh, you want to speak to Nikki? And Nikki was just like pain screaming. So that kind of gave me the feeling that her soul was like trapped in another realm, and this wished version that he made is now the main thing taking over Nikki. But then there was the scene where he was sneaking out of the house, and Nikki was like, you know, just put me out of my misery, you know, just kill me. She's sleeping right now, it's just me, don't wake her up. It's kind of like, so are you trapped in another realm? You know, or like, are you stuck in this body? Or like, is it like a 2-in-1 situation? There was really funny scene where he went back to the antique shop, and the guy was like, dude, what bar are you talking about? And then he's like, I'm just kidding, man, they're right there. I was like, dude, he's such a fucking dick. I was like, I can't believe he did that. So like I said, there were a good couple scenes to the movie that were either just straight out funny or awkwardly funny. But the acting in the movie was very good. The scene, the cinematography in the movie was also very good. You know, Nikki's movement in the movie was incredible. Like, her movement style, just the whole overall scene, and her acting was really, really good. With that being said, the movie is out now. I want to say it came out a couple days ago. It's currently scoring 96% in Rotten Tomatoes. It's a little under 2 hours long. Like I said, if you guys want to go watch it, I will give you a disclaimer. Like I said, there weren't a lot of gory scenes, but when those gory scenes came to play out, they were definitely there. Like, literally, after that one scene of him seeing her in the corner, like, I opened my door when I got home, and I checked all 4 walls. Like, I'll be honest with you, I checked all 4 walls. So, I will definitely suggest that you guys go see this movie if you're into horror movies, if you're into, like, low-budgeted movies. I will most likely go see The Backrooms when it comes out. Ending was very unfortunate. You know, he did end up killing himself in order to release her. For those who have seen this spoiler review and just want to go see the movie for yourself, I definitely suggest seeing it. Definitely a good watch. So with that being said, hope you guys like this review. I'll try and make this around the 15-minute mark. Like I said, definitely go see this movie. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.